Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I have brought, I almost said purchased, I haven't purchased a new meditation book in quite some time. I need to though. But I brought 4 meditation books with me today, and I thought we would just start randomly with the Book of Positive Quotations, because I always start with that one. All right, let's see. Today is May 11th. Look at my phone over there. It's May 11th. Let's see. May 11th. Blame and effort. A man can get discouraged many times, but he is not a failure until he begins to blame somebody else and stops trying. John Burroughs. Things often don't go the way we'd like them to. Some days it seems as if no matter how hard we work, no matter how many times we get up and try again, we just can't win. It's not our fault, we think, so it must be someone else's fault. We can spend a lot of time complaining about this instead of dusting ourselves off and trying yet again. If I find myself blaming others, I will stop and figure out what I can do. Instead, maybe I need a new strategy. I think this is a really interesting meditation, you know? I think often in life, when we try things, it seems like we try again and again and again and again and again to be successful at things, and sometimes, we just aren't. And I think that's, for me, is when I take inventory and I look at, what my part is in that, and what my part is in me not being successful, and me wanting to blame other people or other circumstances for why I'm not being able to be successful. Sometimes whatever I'm trying to do after, let's say, 100 failed attempts, I just have to realize maybe this thing is just not for me. Maybe I need to seek something along the same avenue, but a little bit different, because maybe this isn't for me. But like when we're talking about day-to-day stuff, just like trying to get errands done or clean the house or whatever, and I'm just like, let's say if I'm like behind on time, like often I find myself with, starting the day and being like, oh, I've got so much time. And then before I know it, it's like, oh, I've got 2 hours to get all this stuff done, right? And it's frustrating because it's like, I want to get more stuff done than that. Well, that then affects my mood of the day, right? Where I'm just like, which then affects the people around me, because the people around me then are affected by this attitude, right? Because it's more towards them. And one of the things I say, in my vlog every night at the end of the day, you can just go into the next day and say, tomorrow is going to be an amazing day. But if it's not, I can start my day over whenever I want. And that to say the same thing to yourself every single day when you get up, that today is going to be an amazing day, but if something goes wrong, I can start my day over whenever I want. Starting my day over was a concept that I learned in early recovery, and it is really just this idea of walking into another room or closing your eyes for 30 seconds and really just saying to yourself, like, I'm starting my day over. Like, I started off, I got out of bed on the wrong side kind of thing. I started my day off on the wrong foot. I'm going to start my day over. Like, screw this attitude that I've had all day today. Like, I'm going to go in the other room. I'm going to start singing a song. I'm going to say, thank you, God, for this day. Another day that I am alive and breathing today to enjoy the world. And I'm going to stop complaining, and I'm going to start my day over whenever I want. So typically I try to do that. And that really does get me out of stuff pretty quickly. When I'm like in complaining and in like negativity about whatever's going on, I try to like get out of that pretty quick. So that does typically help me. And I think that then I have a tendency not to want to blame other people. I'm not real big on blaming other people today anyway. I just don't really feel like there's a lot to be learned in that, and over the last couple years that I've really been doing like some deep inventory and, evaluation, one of the things I've learned, and I've said this a lot on here, but it was really profound when I learned this lesson, was that I can point the finger to somebody else and I can say, how dare you? Or if you only knew what this person said or did, like we always want to tell on somebody, right? Like all of us, I think. I know that there have been many times when I've wanted to tell on somebody. Like, I don't mean tell on them, but to be like, like if you only knew what they were really like behind the scenes kind of thing. Or like, if you knew this thing that they said to me 10 years ago or whatever, right? Because we all hold on to that kind of stuff. But what I learned was that I can do that, and I think that's the easier way out. And really what I'm doing in that moment is I'm wanting someone else to feel the pain that I went through at the hands of that person, because whether they, like, I don't know, ignored me as a friend or, said things that were untrue or just caused a lot of, like, chaos in my life or toxicity, they hurt me in some way. And I want other people to know that, you know what I mean? And then I also want other people to feel that same similar pain so I'm not alone, or I want that person person too. But I don't gain anything from that other than just letting the world know, right? And who really cares? Especially when it's on somebody of like a small level, you know, like somebody that you've known for 20 years and your friendship has just faded out. Sometimes friendships just fade out. And so it's really, really sad, but I think at the same time, what I've learned is the most profound lesson is that if I am pointing my finger at somebody else, that yes, that's 3 fingers pointing back at me, but it's also time and attention that I'm taking away from myself, that I should be focused on how can I improve myself, right? Like if I'm over at my neighbor's house cleaning their house, I'm not cleaning my house. If I'm over at my neighbor's house and I'm doing home improvements on their house, that's time taken away from doing home improvements on my house. So why am I spending all this time and energy trying to fix my neighbor's house, trying to clean my neighbor's house, when I could clean and fix my own damn house, right? So I have decided going forward that I want to fix and clean my own damn house. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to be cleaning and fixing somebody else's house. Like, they can fix and clean their own house. And once I finally got that, like, I was like, wow, like, you know, like, that's pretty profound to realize that I need to focus on myself. And I've always known that anyway, right? So I'm not big on pointing fingers or complaining or saying, if you knew what this person did, or laying blame somebody else's feet. It just doesn't do me any good today. Like, I don't gain anything from that, so I don't do that today. Or I try not to, you know, and if I do, then I just start my day over and I go, okay, well, I guess I need to start my day over. So I think that's a great meditation. All right, let's get into... Let's do a time to be free. Daily meditations for enhancing self-esteem. May 11th. I need my water. May 11th. I think this is the one my dad gave me. Yeah, my dad did. My dad and my stepmom. They even engraved, they put it in the beginning front of it. May 11th. When I was still drinking, my personal triumphs were almost always followed and overshadowed by monumental binges. Even though I knew alcohol was a serious problem, I had no idea that such a predictable pattern of self-destruction existed in my life. I was completely unaware that deeply ingrained messages compelled me to act as I did. My parents had taught me that I was unworthy of success and incapable of achieving it. For years, I tried to prove that message wrong, but invariably succumbed by pulling the house down around me just as soon as I had it built. Typically, I would work hard for a raise, a promotion, a down payment, whatever. When I finally achieved the goal, it was only a matter of hours before I was on a drunk that could last for days. Even in early sobriety, my successes were frequently followed by damaging emotional benders. Today, those childhood messages have lost most of their power. Moreover, achievement and personal triumph have far different meanings than they used to. Each day, I try to do what's put in front of me. If success comes my way, I am grateful. If it doesn't, that's all right too. Thought for today: I am worthy and deserving of good. I will put aside the negative messages of the past. You know, it's interesting to me, this meditation. Like, that is not my story as an alcoholic. I'm not somebody that would celebrate for, you know, days on end after some great success. The reality was I failed at pretty much almost everything that I did coming up to the point that I got sober. That was really to be the first thing celebrated in my life. You know, I didn't do great in school in high school. I didn't do great in school in college. I didn't do, you know, like, I didn't have many successes. I didn't have many things to be proud of in my life. I think that was part of the problem, you know, was I could be as loved as much as I wanted to be by, you know, my family and friends, but I didn't really love myself, and I didn't really have anything. This is kind of like a moment of clarity that I'm having here. Like, I don't know that I've ever really realized this before. Like, I really had nothing to love about myself. Like, when I stood back and I looked at myself, sure, I thought I was, you know, maybe cute and fun and all that kind of stuff. But as far as, like, successes that I'd had in my life, I really hadn't had any. Looking back, like, you know, I don't know that that ever even occurred to me at the time, but, like, no, I don't know that I really ever had many successes. And then on top of that, what I was thinking was, you know, the messages that I received from my parents and my friends and my family and things like that were just always encouraging and supportive, right? You can do whatever you want to do, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. You can be whatever you want to be, but I didn't know what I wanted to be. You know, they were always supportive of me and everything that I was going through. I think it was the message that I was getting from my peers at school, you know, and being bullied for so long. And when you hear day in and day out that you're a piece of crap and that you're not worth it and that you don't matter, you know, that you really start to believe that over time. It's like I say this time and time again from Pretty Woman when, you know, he says to her in the movie, "You're beautiful." And she says, "The bad stuff is easier to believe." You know, when someone tells you something long enough, you start to believe it. I think that people told me that I was a piece of crap for so long that I really bought into that. I really did. And that really had to be unworked more than it had to be, like, you know, fought against, if that makes sense. Like, I really bought into that. And that's why I say when I came out, those people that had bullied me for so long, they owned part of my story. They owned part of my truth, and that was not fair, right? Because they had taken that away from me. They had, like, I don't know, like, I just really believed I was this worthless human being. I really, really did. But, you know, I'm unbuilding that today. And part of that, I have to say, is being able to be, and I know people don't understand this, but it's being able to look at these people that gave those, I mean, I know who they are. I could just give you a list of 10 people right now without even looking at my yearbook, you know, their first and last names, faces and everything. But you know what I've had to do in the last 20 years is I've had to look at them with love and forgiveness, and I've had to look at them as human beings that now have kids too, that would never want their kids to be talked to that way, that sometimes have told me, you know, like, "Oh my God, if my kids were ever talked to the way that I talk to you," my husband's home, I would be so hurt for them, and I don't want that for them, you know? So I've had to look at them with love and forgiveness and realize that we all grow, we all learn. I'm not the same person I was then, and neither are they, and we will continue to grow and evolve together, hopefully towards more positivity and love. And all I can do is pass on the message, you know, that we are all successes, we are all miracles today. You are a miracle. And, you know, even I was a miracle. I was a success, even though I didn't even know it back then, you know? And we all have to celebrate each of our successes. Our life is a success, is a celebration, you know? So anyway, with that, I'm going to get off here and we're going to go say hi to, you want to go say hi to Daddy? You want to go see Daddy? All right, we're going to get off here and we will see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Bye.